The Carlos Palanca Foundation is an organization that has been promoting education and culture in the Philippines since 1950. The UNESCO, in the celebration of its 50th year in 1995, included the Palanca family and the Carlos Palanca Memorial Awards in the UNESCO list of living human treasures of artists, writers, and artisans. Since 1950, the Carlos Palanca Memorial Awards for Literature recognizes our writers' exemplary works and continues to enrich the nation's cultural heritage. It has consistently pursued the aim of encouraging our writers to articulate the real significance of the human conditions of our people, as well as define the patrimony of our national soul. For many writers, winning is a validation of their hard work, which then becomes a step towards joining the ranks of the country's literati. The Palanca Award's most prestigious accolade is the Hall of Fame and was established in the year 1995. This distinguished award is presented to a Palanca awardee who has achieved the distinction of winning 5 first prizes in the regular categories, consistently meeting the critical standards of the various boards of judges. Palanca Awards Hall of Fame awardees and their winning works. Rene O. Villanueva, Rolando S. Tino, Jesus T. Peralta, Buenaventura S. Medina Jr., Ruth Elinia S. Mabango, Gregorio C. Brillantes, Cirilio F. Bautista, Maria Luisa Aguilar y Gloria, Elsa M. Coscoluela, Jose Y. Dalisay Jr., Edgardo B. Marana, Roberto P. Año Nuevo, Alfred A. Yuso, Leon Shopi Deriada, Reinaldo A. Duque, Isagani R. Cruz, Luis P. Gatmaitan, Manuel R. Buisi, Rodolfo R. Lana Jr., Nicolas B. Pichay, Riwel Molina Aguila, Eugene Y. Evasco, Peter Solis Neri, Rodolfo C. Vera, Alice Tan Gonzalez, Lamberto E. Antonio, The best thing about words is that they are eternal. Written or spoken words have the power to build up or to destroy. Although some of our Hall of Fame awardees are no longer with us, their literary works have continued to compel, challenge, influence, and steer our hearts and minds towards innovation and growth. Let us honor the departed Hall of Fame awardees, laud their literary works and their impact to our community and society. We would also like to give thanks to our honorable judges who are also distinguished Hall of Fame awardees. The Palanca Awards, along with your peers, are grateful for your contribution in accomplishing our goals for the Filipino writers.
Well, this had to have been during the early 1970s when I was kind of coming of age, and of course I'd heard about the Palancas because I was interested in Philippine literature. I wanted to be a writer myself. Alam ko marami nang nanalo ng Palanca noon, at siyempre pinapangarap ko rin na siguro, sabi ko, baka dumating ang araw, pwede akong sumali dito, baka manalo.
But more naturally, when one writes something after a time or so, you tend to show it to your closest friends or people you know have an affiliation with literature. It could be a teacher, a mentor, another writer, even if he or she is not very close to you. You try to seek some form of acknowledgement that what you're doing is something worth your while. So on the next level would be a matter of competition, and Palanca was one of the few at the time. Most prestigious was still the Palanca Awards. You know that you were being judged by your company of peers or other writers, definitely much older than you if you're a first timer, so more mature than you, more knowledgeable.
It has become a canon that majors like me of Filipino language and Philippine literature should know. It's like creating an ambition in each and every one of us who were writers or who were ambitioning to be writers, to make this as a parameter of excellence.
Is long, difficult, and tedious. I am not like other writers I know who write with ease and grace and turn out wonderful work in just one or two drafts. I labor at my work. I carry the idea of a play, a poem, or a story in my head for a very long time. It just stays like a baby, just stays, in a mother's womb. So, and when finally I am urged to really put it down in writing because I don't make a lot of notes. That's when I clear everything on my schedule, put all my obligations aside, and go to a quiet space and do my writing. I usually get the first draft done in one or two sittings of really frenzied, belabored work. After that, I distance myself from the piece for a while, which may be a week or 6 months or even a year. And then I go back to the work, see it with new eyes, and correct all the flaws, improve the structure, improve everything, polish the work.
Yung nagsasaliksik ako kung ano yung gusto kong isulatin. Hindi ako sumusulat ng hindi ako ready. Either kinakailangan magbasa muna ako ng siguro mga 20 books, 30 books bago kumano, or kinakailangan kong maglakad, maglakwatsa, makipag-usap kung kani-kanino para maisulat ko kung ano yung gusto kong sulatin. Merong pagkakataon na tumatambay ako sa simbahan. Andun lang ako. Tumatambay ako, parang nag-iisip ako, ano ba yung may ganyan. Para akong si Santa Cecilia. Diba? Nagmumuni sa loob. Dinadasal ko, ano yung magandang isulat. Walang dumarating sa akin na biglaan. Lahat, parang hinahanap ko talaga para lumapit sa akin. Nagko-collect ako ng mga diksyonaryo, tesauro, kahit yung mga luma. Nauubos ang pera ko dyan. Nagagalit yung nanay ko niyan. Bakit kolekta ako ng kolekta ng mga lumang diksyonaryo? Di siya makapaniwala na ang dami ko. Tapos ito yung mga ginagamit kong materyales para makakreate.
Well, it was my life. It was being my first novel, and first novels are usually autobiographical or semi-autobiographical because you want to process yourself, you want to understand yourself, and so you use the novel as a form for that kind of internal exploration, and that's what I did, having been through martial law. In the early years of the first Marcos presidency, when things seemed to be golden and full of opportunity, and to see that turn into something else, and to be part of the resistance to to martial law. And ironically, later on, finding a job as a writer for a government agency under martial law. So all of these twists and ironies, I think, convinced me that there was a novel to be written there.
First off, I think the material, it had been going around in my head for some time, because it involved certain native lore, historical stuff actually. The setting was the South, Negros Oriental, which I'm not from. I'm from Manila. But because of my regular presence at the Silliman workshop, I picked up on all this folklore stuff. And it involved folklore. And eventually, I think it had something to do with a competition for entries. If I'm not mistaken, it was sponsored by the CCP at the time. And the call was for ideas for a long piece of work, for a novel. Just concepts, or excerpts. So one did not have to submit the entire manuscript yet. No. So given that opportunity, I wrote up the concept and probably furnished a couple or so of pages and joined the competition and won the opportunity. It was a grant actually given. Winning that grant, I was given a year to complete the manuscript to be able to obtain the rest of the grant, like let's say half of it. So that's how it happened.
In my situation, as someone who have migrated or who have come to America to teach, to earn. So I am very well aware of that America is an imperialist. Everybody here, those who are, protesting in the streets, they're calling America imperialist. And so I am being invited. Why am I being invited? And why did I allow myself to be invited? It's because of economic needs. You cannot turn your back against those kind of invitation because it will give you some kind of stability, economic stability.
Since I won my first Palanca with my first story all about me, and I was very young then, 23, 24, I believe, it has really set the path for me to take writing seriously and want to be a writer. Because although I majored in creative writing at Silliman, my friends in the program, we were very few, we were more concerned about looking like writers, dressing up bohemian and posing as flower people and trying to look different from everyone else on campus, like wearing dark shades even on a rainy day. Our professors would have to threaten us to take them off, otherwise the class would not start if we were all in black shades. We were posing more as writers, as artists, than actually studying how to write. No? So when I got this award, it opened my eyes, that this is something that I should really do, that I should really work at, and not just look like a writer and pose like a writer and then smoke like a writer. All those silly notions that I had at the time. So it inspired me to carry on and to write at least one or two pieces a year, which I would submit from then on to the Palanca contest, if only to prove that I was really seriously pursuing my craft. And of course, the winning inspired me to really make a career of sorts out of my literary life, although I am a teacher. an educator by profession.
Pero kung paano pahalagahan yung manunulat, yun ang ikinaiba ng Palanca sa ibang award-giving bodies. Kasi yung iba, bibigyan ka lang, parang tapos na, parang ganun. Kasi ito, tribute to, hindi lang doon sa mga nanalo. Ang dapat na pagtanaw dito sa Palanca, pumupunta ka dito para ipagdiwang ninyo yung panitikang Pilipinas. At yung panitikang Pilipinas na yun, hindi lang sa level o sa antas na pambansa na pwede mong ibangga kahit sa ibang bansa. Dapat ganun na maging pagtanaw natin eh. Alam mo ba sa totoo lang, ang Palanca nakakatakot? Pag nanalo ka sa Palanca, ang akala mo, parang, sige, mag-iinuman kayo na kung ilang araw, o may makikilala kang chicks. Ganyan. Pero after that, matatakot ka. Ano yung kasunod? Kaya yung Palanca, ito talaga yung magbibigay sa iyo ng hamon na sumulat ng mas matindi. Kaya nakikita ko talaga ito yung parang unang antas bago yung ganap na paglalabas ng aklat. Ito talaga, dito ka kinakailangan na salain mo talaga kung ano yung gusto mong salain na iniisip mo.
I always tell my young student writers that if you want to write well, you read well. I've seen very sadly a deterioration in our language skills. I see a lot of talent out there. I see a lot of brilliance even, but they seem to be fewer and farther between. So that generationally, what I'm seeing is that our young writers today need to acquaint themselves with what has come before them so that they can contribute better to producing something truly new and different. Before you subvert something, before you replace something, you have to master that something, whatever it is. And so perhaps a little backward glance at what has come before you will help you move forward with much more confidence and daring.
The first word that comes to mind, as most teachers, like I was a former teacher, or so-called mentors would say, read. It's as simple as that. Read, read, read. And once you keep reading, it can probably activate your writing itself. By reading, you keep abreast of the scope and quality of the literature that you hope to be able to join in.
Find excellence in yourself by challenging yourself to be above whatever you can give, over and above what you can give. It's important. Find excellence, not just money, but excellence. And in that kind of excellence, you will also gain spiritual excellence. And because God will always give you the opportunity if you want. And it is always when God gives you the opportunity that we must tackle. We must tackle that.
It would be for them not to be discouraged when their work fails, or when their plays are defective, or when their poem doesn't sound right. No, they should just keep working on it, and to develop an open mind, an open heart, and be humble to accept criticism. And although it's painful to hear your work being torn to pieces, it is all for your own good. I realized that very, very early, that I should not take offense but I should learn my lessons from the masters who criticize my work and who try to point out to me how I could improve my work as a writer. So my advice is read a lot, listen to criticism, be humble, and just keep writing.
Huwag silang humintong magsulat. Dahil ang pagtatamo ng parangal mula sa Palanca ay unang hakbang lang tungo sa paglikha ng bagong daigdig. Dahil kung hindi tayo magsusulat ng matino, lahat tayo mauuwi sa digmaan. Bagaman ang panitikan, sinasabi nila, ay isang anyo ng digmaan. Pero itong digmaan na ito ay walang nasusugatan, walang namamatay. Kung hindi, bagkus ang mga tao ay nagkakaroon ng panibagong buhay at panibagong pagtanaw sa daigdig. Lumilikha tayo ng daigdig hindi para pumasok at manatili roon habang buhay. Bagkus lumilikha tayo ng daigdig para igpawan ito at lumikha pa ng universo. Kaya ang Palanca, isang yugto, isang portal, isang pintuan na maghahatid sa atin ng mas malawak na kamalayan.
Thank you to the Honorable Hall of Fame awardees who have generously shared their wisdom and guidance. Thank you to all our distinguished authors, writers, and to all who continue to create literary masterpieces. Your valuable, thought-provoking work continues to inspire others and leaves an indelible mark on all who have had the privilege to read your masterpieces. We end with this challenge to you, our dear writers.
May the so-called tribe or community of exemplary writers continue to provide lessons and vigorous examples of nation building, indeed of world building. And may more Filipino writers participate and succeed in turning aspirations to treasured reality, one born of merit and excellence, and which empowers us all with a new, vital, and flourishing literature.